smiling.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Jim, and we are
A Teague of Your Own. Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated.
Woo! Yay! It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
It's a very nice day.
It is.
It's a little chilly, but
is.
It's not bad.
The clouds have gone away. I think the rain's gone for now, and it's supposed to be nice for the rest of the week. So, good deal. If you're in southwestern Pennsylvania, this is a good time of year.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. Haven't gotten to the frost part yet.
No, not yet.
It's getting there.
Yeah. Well, the problem is even when the frost shows up, then that means I got to go out and get the leaves, and then the snow comes.
It's all good. We've got a webinar this evening.
Yes.
We have a webinar this
evening. That is a fact. Yes.
At 8 o'clock Eastern time, which is 5 o'clock Pacific time. We have our complimentary monthly webinar, and this month it is on defining your target market.
Yes, that is correct.
And we want to talk a little bit about that because we're going to spend time diving into it this evening when we're doing the webinar. But we thought, you know what, we need to talk a little bit about it this morning, because I think there's a lot of people out there who either don't know who their ideal customer is, have no earthly idea what their target market is, or there are some people who are new to their business. Maybe they are entrepreneurs or business owners. They're very new to this whole process, and they think their ideal client is somebody who has money and is alive and well and can give it to them.
Those are good traits of a client,
They are.
But they aren't necessarily the traits of your ideal client.
Correct.
Of your target market.
Yeah.
Because what you just described includes a lot of people.
It does.
And that also
billions.
Yes.
Billions.
It also means going to be a lot of people or a bunch of people that they don't really want what you're selling.
Correct. So part of defining your target market is actually shrinking the number of people who you want to market to. And when you first start your business, that's very counterintuitive.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is?
Because people think they need to go as broad as possible, mm-hmm. kind of the shotgun approach, and hope that they're able to get enough people out of, that just, shooting broadly.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is it usually backfires.
Yes, it does. And why is that?
Because people don't know what it is you do, who you are, why you're trying to pitch to them.
Yeah.
Especially if you're offering, and you may have whatever you're offering is fantastic. I'm sure it is, but they don't need it.
No,
it's not for them. That would be kind of like us. We do a lot of work with companies, mm-hmm. and we have a particular target market, but we've had situations where we found ourselves speaking to a group of senior citizens who are retired, and are mostly a group of senior citizens. They don't need what we have to offer.
No.
For the most part. They're done with their careers. Yeah. And so that wouldn't be our target market. No. There's really no need for us to even talk about what we're doing. That's one of the reasons why I found with some of these groups that you can go out and speak to, Rotary and Lions, and, it's a fine thing. Yes, you can find clients there. But I have found that I have been in front of groups, and I didn't know it until I got there. Mm-hmm. And it was almost exclusively retired people. Yeah. Well, I was wasting my time and wasting their time too. I guess it was wonderful. They got to hear about, what I was doing and what we are doing. But at the same time, they have no need for my services. No. They have no need for our services. Because again, most of them, they're at that stage in their lives where I guess they can continue to grow. It's a smart thing to do.
Yes, it is.
But it's not necessarily the priority of their lives.
Yeah.
For most of them, it's gardening and playing with grandkids and that kind of stuff.
Well, and the clearer you are on who your ideal customer is, the easier it is to find them.
Right. And that was it. We weren't totally clear on who the client was. Yeah. And like I said, ended up being in a position where I'm doing this presentation and knowing nothing is going to, most likely nothing was going to come from it.
One of my friends, Trisha, she owns Healthy Accounting. And I love her. She has a very specific customer in mind. She works with micro businesses.
Oh, so little ones.
So tiny companies that have, I want to say, under 12 employees or less, something like that, is who she works with. And she also caps out what their revenue is. She focuses on a very specific type of company, and that's because that's who she serves. She knows that that's who works well with the services that she offers. Once the companies get beyond that, she can pass them on to somebody else that she works with. But she's a CPA. She knows exactly who it is that she wants to work with, and that's what she does. That's who she targets. It makes it very easy for her to go out there and figure out quickly if you are a good match for her or not, because one of the things she's going to look at is how big is your company. So if you have the ability to do that, if you have the ability to truly zone in on who your ideal customer is, it makes it so much easier for you to go out there and find them, because you're not looking for anyone. You're not looking for everyone. Right. You're looking for a very specific person.
Right. You can take your marketing efforts to a very specific place. You know precisely where you need to spend time and money and energy so you can find those clients.
Yeah. I don't know of any organization out there that has an unlimited marketing budget.
There isn't one.
No.
Nobody has an unlimited marketing budget. Some of them may have very large marketing budgets, and so it seems unlimited, but it's not. Everybody's limited.
Yeah. And as a result, you only have so much money available to market to specific people.
Right.
And if you don't know who that specific person is, it makes it difficult for you to spend that money wisely.
Yeah. And what's one of the ways that you can figure out who your ideal client is?
One of the things that you can do is, who do you want to work with?
Right.
Is one of the questions to ask yourself, is who do I really want to work with? Who fits in well with my products and services? Mm-hmm. I know there are a lot of people out there who sell skincare products.
Yes, a lot.
And they will say anybody with skin. That's not necessarily true, because you will have babies who won't necessarily benefit from your products because their skin is too fragile and not meant for your products. So you really need to take a look at who it is that you're trying to target. Yeah.
Well, and as we've heard over and over and over again since we've been doing this, there's riches and niches. So we hear that all the time. And the idea being that when you figure it out and you focus it down to, and we've even heard people describe it as wanting to get it down to a laser pinpoint. You want to break it down that far that is your target market. And what will happen is you will aim for that target market, which means you're aiming at a very specific point. And as you start having some success with that very narrow group, you'll start to get opportunities outside of that group, because by servicing that very narrow niche, if you do it well, they're going to talk.
Yeah.
They're going to tell other people. And then we've heard that so many times. I'm always thinking, I forget his name, but it's a guy from NSA who was into the forestry
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean that was a serious niche.
Yeah.
But he talked about how it has grown out of that, where
Mhm.
he's gotten people from other groups because they heard what a great job he did with this organization. And it's the kind of thing where you're thinking, forestry products,
Yeah.
paper product, really? I mean, that truly is. That's a very narrow niche.
Everybody loved his business cards.
Yes,
because they were literally on wood.
or at least it felt like wood. Yeah, that and also when he started his presentation, he started out looked like in a suit and tie, but I noticed I was looking at it, I was like, his pants look a little odd.
Yeah.
And then he pulled that off, and he had, I guess it was like lumberjack stuff or something on, and I guess the cool thing about that for him, it looked far more comfortable than a suit and tie. I'm not a big fan of wearing suits and ties. I'll do it when I have to, but yeah, but what he was wearing looked far more comfortable, and it fit with his niche. Mm-hmm. And it was, I wish I could remember his name, but yeah. And he, like I said, he had his niche narrowed down, just precise pinpoint. But like you said, what happens is then you start to move out into the next layer and then to the next layer, because people are coming to you, not because you're going to find them. Yep. You find your niche, and then your niche will help you grow out of that.
Well, it's like the rings of a tree.
Rings of a tree.
That's what, and I think that's one of the things that you talked about is it starts to grow from there.
Even though the analogy he used was like a dartboard or a target for archery, you're wanting to aim for that precise bullseye. But the problem is most people, like I said, when they start out, they don't know what that bullseye is. So they're just shooting arrows and throwing darts all over the place.
They want the whole tree.
Yeah, they want the whole tree. And the problem is, and this is something I was listening to a presentation this morning, by doing that, a lot of times people don't know who you are, who you serve, what it is you're doing. And it just confuses people.
Well, and the other thing is, when your friends and family members are talking to somebody and they say, how are they doing with their business? You want them to be able to say, here's who their ideal customer is. If you know anybody who does this or is in this particular field or in this particular occupation or needs this particular product or service, send them to me. That's what you need to do. You need to make sure that the people who are out there who are talking about you know exactly what you do and who you serve. And if they're not clear on it, then how are they going to help you grow your business?
Right. Other great thing is when you do that, eventually you'll get to that point, it's happened to us, where you'll get that phone call and it's somebody, they're into the line that either you've worked with before or they know somebody that you've worked with, or somehow or another they know what you do. They've seen you somewhere and they say, yeah, we need to have XYZ done. And you're the first people that we thought of. Yeah. And that's really what you want.
Yes.
But when they don't they're not even calling anybody else.
No.
They call you first to see, can you do this? Yeah. Are you available? How can we set this up? Then it becomes great. You're not even competing.
No.
You're able to walk right in and bang, you got it.
Exactly.
And that comes from defining that target market. Yeah. The other way to do it is by creating an avatar.
Yeah.
Yes, doing the whole process of creating that avatar of who your ideal client is. We have our avatar. Who's the avatar? Do you remember?
Is it Heather?
Yeah, it's Heather.
Because she's an HR person. Yeah.
And how old is Heather?
She in her 40s.
Yeah, didn't we say she was 47 years old?
I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, we got to go back and look at Heather. You need to refresh your memory. You don't remember Heather.
I know what she does. I know what she needs. Yeah.
So create your avatar.
Yep.
And you want to get as precise as what we were just talking about. I said, give her a name. Ours is Heather. She's 47 years old. She's an HR manager, and she's incredibly frustrated.
Yes. She doesn't sleep well at night.
No, she does not. And that's because she is having trouble with getting qualified people, keeping qualified people, getting the training that's needed for the people that she does have in the organization, trying to put out fires all the time instead of being proactive and actually getting people the training they need so you don't have the fires to begin with. We defined Heather down very nicely.
She doesn't have time to work on her actual job because she's too busy trying to do all the other stuff that everybody else wants.
And constantly, and she works in manufacturing. It's even more specific. It's in manufacturing. And so she's constantly having to deal with, the shift comes in and there's 5 people that have just all called off at the last minute. And now they got to find somebody to come in and take their place. Especially bad when you've got a big project that the company is working on, or department's working on, and they're counting on everybody being there. And there's one knucklehead who decides, I'm going to sleep. I'm not going to go in. And the problem is, because everybody has to be there, they've got to find somebody that can step in and take that person's place, or somebody who's already there to take their place and go find somebody to take that person's place.
It's just a mess.
And it ends up being a mess. They end up being delayed because, knucklehead decided to sleep.
And
that's a real life example.
But the other thing
that's why I can be so specific with that one.
The other thing is she's getting all of these emails and phone calls and messages because teams aren't all working together.
No, they're not working together at all.
They've decided to go do whatever, go in different directions, do their own thing. And that's frustrating because you need everybody to pull together and to move in the same direction.
Well, and then you get all of these, as they call them, silos developed. And this is a horrible thing in manufacturing because, you've got this department does thing A, and then it moves to next department to do B, and the next department to do C. And it's all in a progression. And when you get to a point where they're not talking to each other, you got a problem because you may have some issues that crop up at point A. Point D, they don't know about it until, product has moved through to them. And then they're suddenly looking at it and going, we got a problem. Well, and why didn't somebody tell us? Why wasn't this fixed right at the beginning?
And it all goes back to conflict and lack of communication flowing throughout the organization. And that's what we help with.
That's what we help with.
We help with the conflict. We help with the retention issues. We help with the low productivity.
We help with the people who, they come into an organization and they go, all right, if I like it here, I'll stay. If I don't, I'll walk down the street and get a job with somebody else. Fortunately, there's less and less of that going on right now. I guess it's fortunate, kind of unfortunate as well too. But so that has slowed down a little bit. But Heather is still losing a lot of sleep.
Yes, she is. So if you know somebody like Heather, if you know an HR person who is working for a manufacturing company and they're up at night because of retention issues or conflict or low productivity, and they can't actually get their own job done because they're too busy doing everybody else's job for them, let us know, because that's our ideal customer. And you should be able to say that to every single one of your friends and every person that you know out there. When you go to networking events, that's exactly what you should be able to do. Is you should be able to say, here's who my ideal customer is, and here's what I can do for them. So that way they can pass that information along. That's what it's all about. So that's what we're going to be talking about this evening during our webinar. So if you haven't already, because I know there are some of you out there who procrastinate. I know there are people out there who wait until the last minute. Guess what?
It's the last minute.
It's the last minute. So perfect timing for you. Now's the time to go and click on the link that you see there in Facebook or you see there in LinkedIn and register for this webinar. It's at 8 o'clock this evening Eastern time, which is 5 o'clock Pacific time. Only lasts about a half hour.
Mhm.
And you will learn the basics of defining your target market and who your ideal customer is. We know that will be helpful for you. So if they wanted to register for that, how could they get to our website? Where would they go?
Go to ateagueofyourown.com.
ateagueofyourown.com is correct.
There. It's all one word,
yeah.
ateague of your own. And then add the .com on the end.
Or it's right there.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Look at
too.
that.
Yeah, how about that?
Isn't that fancy schmancy?
And right there.
Yeah.
And right there.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
If they wanted to reach out to us because they know somebody who needs our help,
Mhm.
how could they do that?
Do you want to send an email?
They could email us.
info@ateagueofyourown.com.
info@ateagueofyourown.com. Yes. What if they wanted to have a conversation with us?
People do that.
Every now and then.
You can call us 412-420-7975 right there over here on the bottom of the screen. I'm
Yeah.
used to this. It's on the bottom of the screen.
412-420-7975. Yes,
Over
you can.
there.
You can call. You can text.
Yes,
It works for us.
Yeah, we can do that.
Whatever
And
is easiest
then
for you.
contact us on social media.
Yep. We are on Facebook. We are on LinkedIn. We're on Instagram. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and have a good old time going through all of these previous lives.
Yeah.
You know,
We're not hard to find.
We're not. We try and be as accessible as possible to all of you out there.
And then if they ever want to see us in action,
Ooh,
yeah, we got something coming up next month.
we do.
Yeah.
So if you are in southwestern Pennsylvania, go to Goal University.
Mhm.
We are going to be part of the speakers group that's there doing breakout sessions. We're going to be talking about influence.
Yes.
Come join us. You can go online to Goal University, register for that. In fact, that's October 10th, if I remember correctly, that we're going to be doing that. Steve Blass is going to be there.
Yep.
He's the keynote speaker
He'll
at
be
lunchtime.
opening for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So come out and see us. It's at the Fred Rogers Center there at St. Vincent College.
Mhm.
So it'll be a fun time. Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. And if you go to our website and click on the events tab, the registration link is in there, along with all of the other webinars that we have.
Yeah.
Sound good? But that's a live event. So.
Yeah, that's a live event.
Yeah.
So you can see us
And
live
a
and in
bunch of other
person in
people.
action. Yeah, some other people. So you have
Yep.
some other sessions you can go to and learn some other things.
And have lunch with Steve Blass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool would that be?
That would be fun. Okay. All right. So we will see you next week. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out to us. Have a fabulous week, everybody. Bye.
Bye.